In this podcast, we're looking at the theme of the best people and skills. We're picking up on the idea of work experience and apprenticeships as a way to raise the profile of our industry and encourage more young people to take part. There's some really good practical ideas here coming out from the team at Shore Solutions that include apprentices and managers who are looking at all sorts of different ways that young people can get more involved. We hope you find this one interesting and pick up some useful ideas of how you can do something to attract the best people and skills to the RACHP industry.
These pictures are from a work experience placement that we had from a local high school. So we kind of got approached by this through the local careers advisor. That's someone who we made contact with. Each school will have a local careers advisor. We came across them when actually doing the recruitment process for our apprentices to get it out there into the schools. We sent them obviously the job advert and stuff, and we've kind of just kept up a relationship with them. And they got in touch with us and asked us if we'd be happy to host a work placement, which we did. So this student spent a week with us through lots of different things through the team, lots of stuff on like carbon assessments with me, stuff with Sam on marketing, and then Aaron, who isn't on the call today, we did some procurement work and kind of ordering parts and things. This student wasn't so interested in probably the engineering side of things, but it's something that we would like to do to offer work experience placements to also the engineering students as well.
Important point to make that it's not just about technical skills, right? There's lots of people in our industry who are not necessarily on the road engineers, but there's lots of career opportunities, as you said, in procurement, marketing, sales, that sort of thing as well, broadening the scope a bit.
Yeah, 100%. My role specifically is business operations apprentice. So I do a lot of work. I'm a STEM ambassador. I've done the STEMazing program as well. So you're not limited at all to obviously what you can do, and we would like to also encourage the engineering side of things to come through as well. I'm an apprentice, 2 years in.
And so that's been, presumably that's quite useful then, be working with the work placement people to be able to tell them about the kind of training that's offered.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great way to also promote apprenticeships and things, but equally it's a great learning opportunity for us as apprentices to obviously develop people's skills to kind of, you know, have a go at leading and managing in a safe environment as well. So there was lots of skills in it for us as well as obviously the student, and I know she thoroughly enjoyed all the things that she learned.
And how old was the student that you had on the work placement?
She was 15. She was a year 10 student.
And how long was she with you for?
A full week. She was with us before the Easter half term.
And that's the first time they took somebody on for work placement, was it?
It was. We have looked in the past at doing different things like traineeships, where you host people for a little bit longer, but obviously with the COVID and schools not doing as many placements for the students, it was limited. But now hopefully there's going to be much more opportunities, and we'll obviously welcome them in when we can. But I'd definitely encourage it for all different businesses, really, to be honest. I mean, we set up quite a good plan, didn't we, Sam? So it was obviously led by the apprentice team, but we kind of assigned tasks and we all knew what we were leading. So it wasn't as time consuming as businesses may think as well. It was really good, and we managed to engage her quite well with the different tasks.
You have to understand what they want to get out of it, and you have to plan, but you also have to think of stuff that's fun, that's interesting to do.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, Kelly actually loved looking at like the work report side of things. So the when the engineers are out, so she loved filing them and doing like the online customer folders and things, which was great for us in the office, wasn't it, Sam? She loved that. I think just keeping them engaged, it's probably quite daunting as well, coming in as a 15-year-old into an office. She had no connection to any of us as well. I'd like to point out, I know sometimes people offer work experience for maybe family members and friends, but this was someone just from the local school. And now we're on the books with them so that when they send them out every year, we'll hopefully get more through.
Once you've done the risk assessments and all the paperwork and stuff, you want to make the most use of that effort so that you can use people on a regular basis and just repeat that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got the plan set up now. Obviously, as things go on, there might be a few things added in, but I think we've got a pretty sturdy plan to welcome any future work experience student.
We'll have to set that up for you, because I mean that's something that I guess employers who might be on the call will think, oh well, I don't want, I'm not sure where to start with putting all that material together.
I'll be honest, no, we kind of set up the plan ourselves. The school are very open on to kind of what you can teach them and what they're going to do. Obviously, they have a risk assessment involved. We were open to develop a plan, but we did find out what Kelly's interests were. She was looking maybe more office-based operations, maybe similar to my role, but we still incorporated a lot of marketing, procurement, carbon assessment. That's something that we do a lot of work on here, a lot of environmental work. So yeah, but there is also help out there. This was also through, so the school go through Employ Solutions. I'm not sure if that's just something local to our area or it's around, and they kind of do a lot of the risk assessment with you, and they contact you every day to check that everything's going to plan and there's no issues. So you're not just left on your own with a student. There's a lot of support there if needed.
Can you remind me as well why the company, why Shore Solutions decided to go down this route? Is it part of their corporate social responsibility? Was it part of their, objectives to recruitment, or was it just a community project? What was their rationale? Do you know?
I'd probably say the corporate social responsibility. In the local area, we obviously care about how people perceive us as a business, and we want to do good. We want to promote the industry as well. I knew nothing about this industry. I'm only 20 myself. If you told me 3 years ago I'd probably be working in an industrial refrigeration company, I wouldn't have known. I didn't know anything about it, but I just think to get it out there is really important. And I think Millie would probably be able to talk to you a bit on that. Millie came to us in September last year. She's our first female engineering apprentice, and she actually was a travel agent, weren't you, Millie, beforehand?
Yeah, big change.
You obviously know probably better than me how have you found coming into this industry?
Went to school to an office job and then to obviously a more hands-on physical job. It was a big change, but it's been great. But as far as I remember in school, I wasn't made aware of the possibilities going into engineering and things like that. I went to a girls' school, so maybe that was why they just didn't push it. They didn't think people would be interested, but I'm glad that I got into it now.
So Millie, how long have you been in the industry now? You're an apprentice, is that right?
Yeah, I think it's 9 months just since last September.
And they said you're out on the road at the moment, is that right?
Yeah, I'm just sat in the van at the moment trying to find some quiet.
So how did they persuade you into refrigeration air conditioning? What was it? Because you saw that the company was local? What made you think about it as a career?
Well, there was no persuasion necessary, really. I went travelling when I was younger to Australia, and well, it's a bit a long-winded story, but I ended up doing quite a few hands-on things when I was there, and I thought, yeah, I'd quite like to actually do this like full time. I'd like to have a skill and the knowledge to be useful for something, rather than just like basically have no hands-on skills, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a job that you can use a lot of maths and knowledge and really use your brains as well as using your hands, which is a great way of, traveling. I mean, at least you're not stuck in an office all day, I guess.
Yeah.
And how did you find the apprenticeship? I mean, how did they match you with that employer? Because we do sometimes here at the Institute, we get calls from people saying, well, they're looking for a job or they're looking for an employer to support a young person through an apprenticeship. How did you find the apprenticeship?
I wanted to get into the industry, to be honest, so I would just search every morning for any vacancies, and I saw this one and decided to apply.
So was that through the government website or through like just Google or something?
I saw it on Indeed.com, funnily enough.
Yeah, because there is an apprenticeship matching service on the gov.uk website, but I think maybe, people are more used to using those recruitment search engines, aren't they, to find jobs. So it's good to know that there's apprenticeship jobs offered there as well.
I did try the Gov one. I tried daily as well. I think I just saw it on Indeed first, but I do think it was on the Gov website as well.
And which college are you at?
In the City of Liverpool College at the moment.
And how are you finding that mixture of working in the field and going to college?
It's good because when you go to college, you sort of learning and you can apply the next day and work what you've learned, and put it into an actual picture in your head, rather than whereas school, where you were just taught and taught and taught and you never would see. Really, I find that really useful when you can go to work the next day and try and apply what you've learned the day before.
How is the employer then managing your apprenticeship? So presumably you're doing that theory knowledge at college, then you've got to support that with the practical on the road. Are you sort of paired with a more experienced engineer?
Yeah, so we have a couple of different engineers, so it depends obviously what the schedule is, but we're always with like a qualified engineer, and all of them are very happy to help, and near enough every time they know the answer as well. They're very knowledgeable. I haven't come across a question that no one knew how to help with yet, so that's really good to know I'm around sort of knowledgeable people and know what they're doing.
And then you're also now promoting the industry to other people.
Anyone I speak to about it, I'm just like, yeah, you need to get in there, you need to get in there.
Well, I'm sure also you're being encouraged to join the IOR's got the Women RACHP group as well. So hopefully there's lots of resources to support your career as well as you go forward. So hopefully you're finding the industry very supportive as a trainee.
Yeah, it's great.
What sort of things do you think that our industry should be really using as its sales point to encourage new people to join the industry and get people to consider it even as a work experience to try it out? Because I'm sure there's students who will say, refrigeration, I don't want to do that.
I think it's such a small industry. It's very good to know because it's like a specialist thing rather than, for instance, a mechanic where a lot of people know what it is and what we do. It's something you can use every day. It's hard to sort of explain because before you know about it, you think, well, what do I need with that information? But funnily, you just come across it every single day, what I've learned, and it's just great to have the knowledge, really.
So it's just that practical element of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
People here are all interested and they're either involved with schools at the moment or wanting to get involved with schools. Any other advice you'd give to them when they're talking to young people about the career?
I would say try and get people hands-on involved. I remember in school we'd always have people standing up and talking, and a lot of people didn't listen because they found it hard to sort of concentrate. But when, for instance, like who wants to come up and help me do this? Everyone's ears instantly light up. So maybe try and get people involved hands-on and set challenges if possible and competitions, because that's when people start sort of raring to go, when they can sort of try harder and really put an input into it.
Sam and Jessica, did you say you're STEMazing trained? So is that's kind of the program that helps you come up with some really good practical experiments that young people can do? Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. I did the first intake on the STEMazing program and obviously learned numerous skills through that. So yeah, loads of experiments there, and I know something that they were obviously based and tailored a lot more to maybe the primary school age. I think something that the industry potentially is missing is kind of focusing on the secondary school students. I understand getting in there early and things, which is great, but for these secondary school students, I think maybe more could be done. I know we've done a few talks in some local schools about the industry and the different apprenticeships that we offer. And I know that Millie has been in the office a few weeks ago trying to design a rig to take into some schools and things, for some hands-on experience, something that maybe the older children, the GCSE level, that age would be interested in. So it's obviously trying to find something for all different age groups to continue to promote.
Let us know how you get on with that, because that would make a nice video or something. You know, we've got a careers YouTube and we've got stuff on our fantastic fridges. So if you do come up with a nice training rig and you'd like to demo it for us.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll do that.
Is there anything else, any ideas or tips that you guys at Sure Solutions would like to say about work experience to share that others thinking of taking work experience students on, but they're not too sure where to start?
There was something we did at the end with our student was we built a CV with her, which we thought would be really beneficial for her. I think 14, 15, you don't really know where to go with a CV. And I think it's sort of hard to try and figure out what an employer's looking for and what to put down and what you class as key skills. We found out as well that she had like a small job on the side that she did for a little while, and we just said, put that down, tell us what you did, and we helped her write it and build it and gave her a template. So once she was done, she took all the work that she did with us and a CV as well and took that as evidence. Obviously in the future, if she was to go into an office role, if she chose to, she could take that with her as an example. That might help her get a role in the future.
a good idea to structure that program, that it's not just about learning about the industry and what you do, but things like mock interviews or CVs can be a real benefit. And if you get a good review from the work experience person, hopefully that means the school will send more people your way in future.
Yeah, exactly what we did as well. We gave her a review form as well, which you could take back to the school if they were curious how she did, or if Employee Solutions, and they sent one out as well, but we did our very own.
Yeah, I think that's good. Get some feedback on what to do next time and how to make that work in future.
I think that's the bit that you're more trying to get at as well, is I think when we originally thought about it, we were worried, how are we going to fill a week? And I don't know if it'll be the same for other businesses, what are we going to do? So remember that you can fill it with just like normal transferable skills as well, such as the CV building, mock interviews, loads of different webinars out there. Obviously, we're tailoring it to the industry. We want to promote industrial refrigeration, but equally 5 days for a 15-year-old full of that could be a bit overwhelming. Do just throw other things in there into the mix as well and just make it a little bit more enjoyable for them.
I wonder if some of the employers think, oh, well, we just don't have someone who could sit with that person the whole week and do stuff. It's going to be a nuisance. But from what you're saying, you can get them to do so many different things with different people, then it works out quite well.
As long as you're planning, we allocated different days or even half days or hours. So we all, had time in our week to get on with our normal job role. So I think that is important just to consider. And equally, if you do need a bit of time, there's loads of good webinars out on here, on the beta webinars, lots of different things that we can obviously put them onto.
The message we're getting across is there's lots of opportunities and there's lots of resources. It's just really getting down to putting something together, making that contact with the local school, maybe using the STEM program to help make contact if you don't have a direct contact with the local school, and then just getting stuck in. And it does sound as though Sam and Jessica would be happy to share some of their experience. If anybody here is from an employer who's thinking about it, they might have some templates for plans that they use that they could share with you as well, to give you an idea of how to put a program together. And we can put that on our website as an example template.
Yeah, definitely. We'd be willing to send that across. Also, we shortened the day a little bit. I don't know anyone else's, but our working hours are here are 8:30 till 5. Obviously, that's a long time for the student when they're used to 9 till 3. So we did, like 9 till 3. That also gives us time in the work day to get things done. So just little things like that. It doesn't need to be as complicated as you sometimes think. And once you've got one plan set up, then we can welcome as many as we can. And we've also done the other month, we did some mock interviews as well, didn't we, in another school. So I think once you've got your foot in the door with them, they're always looking for you to go in and talk to the students. It's just making that initial contact.
Yeah, it's a lot of these things. It sounds complicated, but once you get started and have done the groundwork, then it sounds as though there's lots of benefits all around.
Yes, definitely.
I'm sure we'll hear more from you guys and from Millie in the future as we go forward to work together to try to do something to raise awareness of our industry. Thanks very much, guys, for dropping in at very short notice to tell us a little bit about the work you've been doing. And it sounds like really good progress you've made there.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. This was the tip of the iceberg from the Institute of Refrigeration, and I'm Miriam Rodway. We hope you're enjoying our podcast. Please like and share and follow the podcast and join us on the next edition. Thank you.